Hey guys, and welcome to my vlog. So today we're going to be doing part 2 of my world building series, and our topic today is technology. So a lot of times when you are looking at fantasies, most often you'll come across something that's kind of like medieval-ish era in terms of technological advancement, and there's nothing wrong with that. But technology is going to be one of the things that you need to develop early on when you're figuring out sort of what your society can do and what they can't. One thing that you can do with technology is use it to influence the plot. If you're setting your story in like Stone Age era technology versus a sci-fi, then how things work is going to be dramatically different, and it can really influence how your action plays out. Another thing that you're going to want to consider with your technology is that this covers things like communication, travel, medicine, all sorts of those things, some of which will get their own post, but for now we're just going to be covering a basic overview of technology within world building. Technology is going to influence how your characters interact with the world around them. If they want to get in touch with another character, things are going to be a lot different if they have to, say, send a letter via horseback or if they can send an email. It's going to change your character dynamics if they don't get to spend a lot of time together, or if you're on a mission and you can't communicate directly. The nice thing about fantasy is that you can choose literally any technology level that you want. If there's something that you really want your culture to have, you can do that. One important thing to understand is a lot of technology, sometimes certain things are a lot more advanced than others, or if you're using a historical example, their technology may be a lot more advanced than people might realize. A good example of this is the early Islamic Empire developed a surgical kit, and basically it's the same thing that we use now in surgeries, except it's made of a different material. Another example of this would be in terms of medicine, with the ancient Romans having an effective birth control available. When you're crafting your world, you have a lot of opportunity to set it in a time frame that feels like ancient or old, but it doesn't necessarily have to be lacking technology. You can give it all these pieces that you want, but still have it set up in a lifestyle that you're comfortable with writing. The important thing with technology is to be consistent. You want to do your research, and you don't want things to be wildly different everywhere, because quite often when you have more advanced nations, they don't often let less advanced nations just kind of be. So you have to take that into consideration if you are giving your world some extremely advanced ones, some that are still at like Stone Age level, some that are like medieval level. You have to consider how those different levels of technology would play against one another in your story. You can be creative. In fantasy worlds, literally anything is possible as long as you make it possible. That's the fun thing about being a writer. You're basically God for this world. So if you want them to have spacecrafts, they can have that. If you want them to have herbal medicine that is extremely advanced, you can have magic plants that will regrow your limbs if you want. And you can do anything. The possibilities are endless. And with technology, because I'm going to be going into some aspects more in depth, such as transport and medicine a little bit later on, I'm not going to go into them. But something like communication works really well. You'll see in a lot of shows where you have a race against time, and communication is very important to achieving their ends. Once you've decided on a level of technology, basically what you kind of want to do is find a culture that would work for it and understand their daily life and how their level of technology affected it. Because it is going to affect every single part of your life. How do you communicate? How do you get food? How do you travel? How do you survive? You have to be able to understand all of those things, and the real world examples are excellent for kind of figuring out the baseline for your world as well. Don't be afraid to use historical examples. You don't have to do everything the exact same. You can cherry pick if you want, but it does offer you a really good basis for figuring out stuff for yourself without having to come up with literally everything on your own. It's okay to use examples. So that's it for the vlog today. Basically, when it comes to technology, you're just asking a whole bunch of how do I do X questions. Anything that you want your characters to be doing in your plot, compare it to the level of technology and how they can do that. So that's all for today. Happy writing, guys. Bye.